Three, two, one. Wizard, warrior, wanderer, wayfarer, and wildcat alike. Welcome to a live jive archive for the 100-day magical challenge Pathways of the Magi. Wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission, welcome, one and all. Made myself a tasty beverage. And let's get into it. I'm broadcasting from Twilight Zone Old Peking, Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. Your host for the hour, Praetor Francis Lunas Aristeas of the Ordo Templi Astarte Pastophorus. Welcome, guys. Neophyte grade. Earth elemental magic is what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. So you should have been forming various cubes and other geometric shapes on the astral plane. A moment ago, the chat would not load. So sorry about that if I missed your message. I wasn't ignoring the chat. In fact, I was looking for it. But all of a sudden, the whole chat loaded right when my phone disconnected from the internet. So that was clever of them. If you are out in Happy Land, give me the thumbs up if you can hear me okay. So close out of the chat real quick and go to the thumbs up button and hit the thumbs up button if you are out there in the ideas room and can hear me okay. Is the sound okay? Sound quality? Give me a thumbs up. I still see 0 thumbs. All right. Yeah, so using the energy of the earth element, of course, green, electrified, flaming, however you perceive that on the astral sphere, right? The green energy and formulating a cube and then summoning all of the earth energy inside of your body and putting into the cube breath after breath, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 breaths, filling it up. And then drawing it back out again in just a few breaths. So 1, 2, 3, drawing the earth energy back out into yourself, practicing that back and forth a few times, putting it into a cube, feeling it becoming substantial on the astral plane and its weight, its dimensions, feeling those, even though it's totally intangible in front of you, you can still, if you envision it strong enough, you can start to feel it, feeling the outline of its shapes, its lid, all right, and other geometric shapes in that same vibrant, radiating, scintillating green light. Monochromatic green, emerald emanating from the northern region. It's got your back, right? At this point, northern region, yeah, east. And other earth activities, connecting with the earth, sitting on the earth, contemplating the elemental earth cards. All right, here's number 9, the Lord of Material Gain. Contemplating the images on the earth cards. Hey, Frater Tomas, good to see you, sir. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. Good news, I got my backdrop up, which is kind of fun. Just here to have a casual conversation. Nothing serious for this evening. The last couple of live streams failed. I got cut off. So yeah. And then the other thing, my laptop failed like 2 days ago. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday. But my hard drive failed to mount to my logic board, and I opened my computer. I have it here. So this is really going to limit my ability. All I have is my phone now to interact with the internet. So here's my computer, and when I try to power on, you get the sound. The logic board is starting up, but it's a blank screen. And if you leave it open for a few moments, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 seconds, then it will show the file with a question mark in the center. And so I went through recovery mode like 3 or 4 times trying to get it to discover the hard drive and reboot. But the startup disk is it's become unattached. I didn't drop it or anything, so I can't imagine that the cable or there's any physical damage. There's no water damage, nothing like that. Yeah, well, that laptop's almost 10 years old. So I think hopefully best case scenario is I can get it repaired. Worst case scenario is I can get data recovery off the drive if it did fail, if the hard drive failed. And I'm not sure if it's a solid state hard drive like an SSD or a actual disk because they had only just changed when they made these computers. Like, so end of 2014, it was made in 2014, 2015. It's not entirely clear. I don't remember exactly, but I did look up the model number. But they made them all the way from the end of 2014 to the end of 2015. I probably got it later on in 2015. So I'm imagining it might be a solid state drive, but they switched from using disk hard drives to solid state flash hard drive or SSD, whatever those are exactly. Solid state drives, I guess. Yeah. And so that's a bit of a bummer. That's going to hobble me in making any kind of videos. And the phone doesn't seem to be doing very good, like as far as the FPS on the camera or the quality of the camera or the microphone. And the microphone I can't connect to the telephone, to the cell phone, the mobile phone. So that's a bit of a bummer. Anyway, you make some wins and you get some losses, right? Some gains, some losses. That's just the way it goes. Uh, Hope you've been doing well though out in Happy Land. I hope everything's well there with you. Yeah, the technology is definitely having a moment. It may be having its last moment. That would not be good. Data recovery can be expensive, like if a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and it takes some time. I think they have to write it in real time from like one drive to another, and only at one speed or something, 1x, maybe a little better than that, but I'm not exactly sure. But I do know that I've done research on it in the past, and there is software you can use yourself to try to recover your data. But I don't know. The more advanced computers get, the more difficult it becomes a little bit to do some of those things. But I had borrowed a laptop from school, but it didn't work. I had to take it back, and they said they didn't have any working laptops available. Um, but I can use workstations in the class, like in the school, not in the classroom, but in the computer lab. I could go there and potentially process, like use Adobe or whatever Movie Maker to process stuff. But I was doing a review of the elemental grade of Earth with everyone, and I wanted to remind you, make sure you go over and check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. I'm putting some more documents I had gotten up there, for example, to collaborate with and coordinate with our recent studies in the tarot. There are some real easy colored plates. There are four of these, one for each element, and they're just the titles, the Golden Dawn titles of the tarot cards, the minor arcana, and the court cards, and then a bit of a memory cheat sheet for the major arcana. It's just got some action words for each of the major arcana. So, like the Fool is awareness, and then the Moon, single action word, deception, right? Meditation and awakening, this kind of thing. So good to have a look at those and commit them to memory. I showed you a picture of me going through my first my initiation for the first degree in the OTA, the Ordo Templi Astarte. This was in 2019. It was at the Adonia Festival at the Wizards Tower out in the mountains there in California. That's me going through in first grade initiation. Good fun. You can see the Egyptian coffin or sarcophagi behind me, sarcophagus, the King Tut style. And I'm wearing my mask of the raging waters and a cloak of protection. I drew a little wizard for you guys. Fun stuff. Always like to pin out a little wizard. He's got a wand and a sword. Good stuff. Yeah, not a lot going on, man. Just thought I would touch in, check base, have a little casual conversation. Again, the comments aren't loading here. Okay, so finally, one of Thomas's comments comes through. Fredo Tomas says, 10-year-old computer. Yeah, I hope everything's backed up properly. No, no backups, man. It's a funny thing, too, because I had been contemplating getting an external hard drive, another one, because I lost two recently with very old backups. They ultimately fail anyway. And some of the stuff was duplicated. I had redundancies, like all of my favorite novels, probably a database of about 500 stuff like that. And so all of those books were backed up to two external hard drives I have, and they were both robbed from my house in America. So that was a bummer because that had a lot of private young photos. Anyway, is it solid state? I don't know. Like I said, when they made this laptop, it was right when Apple was switching in their MacBook Pros, switching from disk hard drives to solid state hard drives. So I'm not sure. And I think the disk ones are easier to recover data from, right? The solid state ones, if they go bad, I don't know. From what I understand, maybe you lose all of your data, right? But data recovery can be done on most hard drives, I think. If not, you can unscrew the HD. Yeah, if it's a solid state and built into the logic board, there's no way to do anything with it. You have to take it to a shop where they have the tools, chip removers and solder it and, clean the board and look for anything else. But I know there's no physical damage. It was just sitting here. I think what might have happened is I might have gotten a power surge and it may have fried it, man. It might have Apple might have sent 15 volts of electricity into my hard drive. Sometimes it's not the disk that's damaged, but rather the reader. Yeah, like the needle. Yeah, I know that. And the other thing, they said that what's really common with these is the solder cable, the connection cable that goes from the hard drive to the logic board or motherboard is prone to failure on this particular model. Like I looked up this particular model and did some research and they said that best case scenario is that cable that connects the hard drive to the motherboard. If it's a disk, I guess if it's a disk, and maybe even if it was a solid state or one of the early ones. But this computer is a 2015 MacBook Pro, so it seems to be a common error. You can get a UPS with surge protector for all the electronics. It may save you good money. I do. I have. In fact, what I'm plugged into is a surge protector. I do have one, but it's not with a backup battery. It's just one of those power strips, but it has a circuit breaker in it. I don't know if that protects surge or not, but I think the way it happened was when I was plugging the outlet into the computer. I think I don't normally do that. And I think it flashed. I don't know if it did or not, though. I might be wrong, but if it did, that's another error entirely. I'll just have to go down to the computer repair guy, the third party computer repair store. There's a pretty good one that I go to. I've gotten phones fixed numerous times for all kinds of different reasons, screens breaking, different types of things, water damage. He replaced in my older phone, I guess the phone I'm using right here, he replaced where the charging cable connects to the phone itself, that little port right there, that had gone bad. So I have pretty fair amount of trust in this guy. I've taken tablet computers to him, he's fixed them, and he's not super expensive. But data recovery is another thing. I don't know how much. I know outside of China, all of these kinds of services are much more expensive. But in China, that's one of the benefits is that a lot of the things in the service industry are much more reasonably priced. So I'm hopeful that I can get it fixed, but it's going to be a week before I can do that. So I got no fucking computer for a week, and it's just going to be the phone, man, which is a bummer. For at least a week. I do have other laptops I could get and use, like, but I'm not going to do that. I bought my son a really nice gaming laptop, and he told me to take it and use it. He's because he can't use it. He's got to study, for school. So he told me to take that and use it. But I feel like, yeah, I bought it for him. I don't really want to take away his computer. It's nicer than any computer I've ever had, though. But I like people to take possession of things. When you buy someone a gift, you don't snatch it back and start using it for yourself. That doesn't give them the right impression. You want to think about the long-term effect of your actions, and instilling a sense of reward and ownership in a young person is important. I think. I think. Others would argue. Some people say, hey, these are our devices, you're just using them. That way they can take them away, and it will ease the sting a little bit whenever they do that. Yeah, 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 not a lot going on. Haven't heard any news. I summoned a magical creature, a familiar. He's here in the room with me. Very interesting little fellow, quite lovely. Um, Hangs out there most of the time, likes to get fed a couple of times a day, and takes a poop, needs it's an axolotl. I learned that from you, Tomas. I had to look it up. I had never been familiar. I thought it was a salamander, which it turns out it actually is a salamander as well. But I had to look that up and figure out what an axolotl was. They're very cool little creatures, though. They look like a little dragon. They have arms. They look like a lizard, but they're a fish too. You know? Yeah, a creature of fire and water, indeed. And they're a bit of a hybrid, a bit of a chimera. And from what I learned about them, I watched a few videos on them. From what I learned, they stay in a kind of adolescent state their whole life because they never truly emerge from the water. They're an amphibian that should emerge from the water and become a land creature, but they rarely do it. And when they do, it spells kind of the end of them. But they stay like in their adolescent phase of development after tadpole fully formed. This one's so cute though. He's running around right now, motherfucker. Um, when I first got him, like you're a little bit, it's a little bit disturbing. It's its manifestation, its physical appearance, with the gills floating on the sides, and the fact that it's a swimming lizard, but it's like a fish. It's like a morphed creature, half lizard, half fish. Um, but it didn't take long. Like within just a little while, I was very enamored of his charms, and genuinely started to find him really cute. Very good looking animal. This one is a translucent albino. So you can kind of see through his body almost. He's not totally translucent, but you can see through his tail and his body. You can see his skeleton, essentially his vasculatory system, and something of his internal organs as well. But in other light, he won't have perfect translucentness, and he has an albino kind of pinkish orangish color, more orange, I think, more to the orange spectrum, closer to the red spectrum rather than the yellow. And yeah, very, very clever. He has much of the behavior. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. I think it's actually a girl. I think it's a feminine example of the species, but it has very similar to behavior of a young cat, like sleeping most of the time, and then when he becomes active, it becomes extremely frisky and active and runs around kind of playful in the fish tank. Like right now, that's what he's doing. Maybe he's hungry. Only supposed to feed him a limited amount each day, though, so doesn't matter if he's fucking hungry or not. He's only getting fed at the regular hour. But then the rest of the time just lays around and sleeps. I'd say probably sleeps 95% of the day. Or, I mean, just pretends to sleep, just hangs out motionless, breathing. Animals are quite clever that way in their Qigong mastery. And you notice that their muscles are always finely tuned and they're always at peak performance from basically once they pass through adolescence until the time of death. Like, the last year or so of their lives. And their lives tend to be so quick, anyways, being only a couple of decades. This particular creature can live up to 15 years, but they say it averages 10 to 12 because it's very hard to maintain ideal conditions in his fish tank. Um, but yeah, they will maintain dynamic physique, the highest efficiency of the physique, the digestive system and respiratory and musculature and all of that, tendon, all of that. They will maintain a high level. I think I have a visitor. Give me a moment, guys. Hello, who is that? I'm broadcasting a little live stream. What are you doing? How was school?
Some student hit twin
Oh,
on the
really?
face.
Really? Which student?
BC,
BC? Who in BC?
a new one, a new student like grade 10 or something.
Really?
Yeah. And then he already got kicked out, like, go home.
Got kicked out of school? Yeah, you hit your moral guidance teacher in the face. You're definitely going to get kicked out of school for that one.
And he hit him 2 times.
Is that right? Did you see it or you just hear about it?
The BC, the girl, what is that girl called?
Felix
No, BC one.
in 10th grade?
Yeah.
I don't know any BC 10th graders. No, my BC class is 11th grade.
Anyway, BC 10th grade, 然后调理人。
Oh, well, there you go. My daughter has arrived, guys. So I will sign off for now. Like the old saying, if you want to learn to breathe properly, just look at your dog. Yes, school drama, high school drama, quite fun, interesting stuff going on with the kids. They're always up to some shenanigans, right? Um, are we on for tomorrow, Tomas? With my laptop being broken, man, the only way we're going to be able to do it is um, yeah, the only way we're going to be, and send me any notes you have on how I've set this up. Obviously, this is just temporary, but it's better than nothing, right? What was I going to say? Oh, we got to find some way to connect over the phone. Maybe I can open StreamYard on my phone, or maybe a Zoom call will work. I don't know because we could, if you're not busy right now, we could try something. I'll put an end on this live stream, and you could try to see if there's some way we can connect. If you're, are you busy right now, Frater Tomas? Have you got a few moments to chat offline? Of course, I'll call you on WeChat or something. Okay, cool. Yeah, so for everyone else out in Happy Land, do good magic. Yeah, I got about 10 minutes. Okay, good. Do good magic, and I'll see you in the abodes of the future. Keep on keeping on. This is day 15th of the 100-Day Magical Challenge, Pathways of the Magi. Check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Throw something in the tip jar. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. If it was your first time, don't let it be your last time. And come back and leave a comment on the video. And I love y'all, good looking sex people out in Happy Land. I will see you on the next transmission. Bye for now.